Welcome back to Goldenridge. Today we're filling in the gaps with inner city industry and extending our downtown skyline across the river, connecting both sides of the city and pushing things forward. So let's get to work. Okay, so last time we built this kind of Vancouver-inspired residential area here on the coast with a lot of modern high-rise buildings and a bunch of really dense apartments and lots of trees and grass space and this little low-density, really exclusive residential neighborhood here right on the front of the water. And just since last time, I just did some cleanup of some details and stuff. Added this little, kind of converted these islands into this little breakwater island so that this bay can be nice and chill and, you know, people can kayak or whatever they want to do in here. And then I also filled in a bit of this area just with apartments and this little park area here along the water. So we've got a little more green space kind of leading up to that. But what I really wanted to do was make sure that this felt a little more normal city, and this area felt a little more exclusive, a little different. And I think we've achieved that. So we got the mall in here and just some kind of low density commercial and some other apartments and just some warehouse stuff out here. So overall, I think this area is feeling pretty good. Certainly there's a little more detailing to do just to fill in some of this grass area, and I got some of the retaining wall stuff in, but there's a little more of that to do. So overall that is feeling really good. We got this curved parking lot here that I think is kind of fun to fill in this area. So yeah, this is feeling really great. Today I want to start off, there's a few things I want to do today. I want to kind of bridge the gap here between our main downtown core and our kind of coastal residential area. So I really just kind of, what I'd like to do is kind of fill in this kind of little area here with I don't know that this is going to be a super specific area. I think there will be some bigger industrial stuff. We can get some things in, bus depots, and maybe the tram depot can go out here. I don't know exactly where. We're going to do a whole transit episode here really soon. So we'll get the trains going, we'll get our ferry going. But I want to start thinking about where that stuff at least starts. So, and a lot of that stuff, especially the tram, that stuff is big. So I want to eat up some of that land with this. And then I also want this little peninsula area here to be kind of high-risey and kind of extend this down to here and have this kind of branch out onto here. I don't want these to feel quite so sectioned off. But the first thing I want to do is, again, something I probably should have done earlier that I didn't do also early out in our Colorado area was give these people some internet, because they do not have the internet. And so this, I think, hill is going to be a great place for it. So right now we've got this castle ruin up here, which is, fine, but gonna go. So I think we'll get this up here facing kind of this way, and I think that already is feeling pretty good. That's kind of got a Sutro Tower in San Francisco kind of feel to it. This is obviously not nearly as iconic as Sutro Tower, so maybe if depending on when we do get custom assets and someone can throw a Sutro Tower asset out there, we can replace this, because I think that would be pretty sweet. But in the meantime, the tough thing now is going to be to get a road up there. So I just wanted to take a look at that. I think we're just going to use the alleyway, and we're going to go ground, and we're going to go constant slope and curved. So I think, let's see. So if we're kind of started out here, turn our contour lines on, I want to keep this mountain looking as kind of organic as we can, but I think we can, at the very least, we can kind of branch off from here and maybe even turn off snapping. Let's see. So I guess probably probably going up this way is going to make the most sense, and then make just a bunch of switchbacks around here, and kind of try to keep our eye on the grade. Does that say 20%? So much for that, huh? Oof. There we go. A little better there, and can wrap that up around here. Maybe we can give that up into a bridge and let this kind of wrap up like that and coming about there. So let's take a look at that. I think, yeah, we'll have to clean up some of these flying trees from where we cut through the ground, but I think that is going to, well, that's pretty steep there, but we can probably adjust that a little bit. So I think that's going to work. And we'll just bring in a road right about there, just so we can connect to it. And I'm not sure, because I think this was a highway, so I think we are missing some. We can just kind of connect these to there, but we want to make that underground. So we'll just connect electricity to there, and then also water and sewage to there, and that should, there we go. So let's clear out some of these floating trees, and then let's see if we can't grab the node there, and like this I think we can bring up, and that should actually go a long way to making this curve feel not quite so weird. Yeah, I think is pretty good. We'll probably detail this up a little later, but yeah, so that should satisfy at least a bit of telecom. Well, that does more than a bit. That might go down. Oh, because we also have, I forgot, we have this telecom building. So actually, maybe we did have a little bit of internet going on, but not only for services. I just thought that would be a cool looking thing for this little hill here, which should probably have its own name, to be honest. Kind of just, we can bring the Mulberry Heights district boundary down a bit and give this kind of a Twin Peaks style name. So whatever we want to go ahead and, actually let's just go ahead with just Sutro Hill, which would be named after the Sutro Tower in San Francisco. So that's cool. We can maybe get a little lookout point here. People can come up, and I mean that's a pretty good place to come up for sunset, and a little lookout spot. So we can get something like that going. We can actually use the where is it? This custom. That's not listed there. Yeah, we like this to kind of get this little touristy looking area up here, and maybe clear out some of these trees so that people can kind of actually enjoy that. So now you can come and park your car here and hang out with a pretty good view of the city. We'll just knock a couple of these trees down. Yeah, that's a sweet spot to hang out. So okay, so that's cool. Now let's take a look at some of the things that we're going to kind of future proof for. So tram depot, yeah, see, like I said, pretty big. And so I want this kind of stuff to really have enough space to kind of exist. And we might just kind of get this in somewhere like that. And then let's also take a look at the bus depot, which is a little smaller, but maybe we can put this somewhere here, kind of along this train line. We can get, we'll kind of put this stuff down and then get roads in. So I wonder if there's anything else that we are going to want. Oh, we might, I know we have one road, or did I already put this down? I thought maybe I did. No, I guess not. So, we'll also get a road maintenance depot. I think you've probably seen the road maintenance trucks, but I think they are from the depot that is all the way out in the mountains. So we'll want to get a local one in here and just kind of make this a bit of a little transit industry area. So let's go ahead and get some roads in here so that the stuff actually makes sense. And that way we can kind of have, let's just back this up a little bit so we can get a better turn in. I think it's a little weird when these kind of turns are not quite as realistic, I think. So, and then we'll just get that in there. And not sure why. Oh, because we don't have any tracks on there yet. So we can just kind of pull that in. So there we go. And then we were going to do the road maintenance depot. So we can kind of probably get that in somewhere like that. And then any of these other welfare office could be, doesn't quite fit in here. We could get rid of some of these. It does kind of fit right there though. You might as well get that down under, kind of near the highway here. So this is going to be a real bit of municipal and kind of transit, and then we'll also get some other industry stuff fitting in here as well. So there we go. And then what did we get in here? Oh, that we had a little, we had gotten, while I was detailing stuff up, we had some real demand for hospital stuff over here because the districts were, so that our major hospital here was only kind of helping these areas. And I think maybe I reset that to be safe, but then I think I had assigned this one for, out here, and then we'll also let this guy kind of, so let's put a district down here. We'll kind of get that going. And I think we're gonna cut it off a little bit like that, because I think this then will also be this kind of industry coastal area, can be its own district. And then it really loves mulberry. And then this I think is going to be pretty industrial row house apartment kind of thing. So we'll think of some names here for some of this stuff, but let's take a look at what types of buildings we may be wanting in here. So I think there were some that I had kept, kind of was holding off on from the signature buildings. Don't think that was one of them. Although this might, what is this, the mall? This could be something to fit out here, maybe. That's a little big for out here. This I think could work out here pretty well. Does that actually fit there? Oh, that is close. I think we can make that work. So that'll work, and then we're just gonna get some other. Yeah, this is probably a good one. I just, like I said it before, I just don't want the kind of downtown to just end because we've hit the river. So I did want to get some decent sized buildings over here across the water. And then I think now let's jump back into office. We do have still some industry and office need here. So let's see. Bet that if you just get kind of a few, whoa, man, some of these buildings are, I feel like my downtown is super tall until I look at some of these other buildings, and then it very quickly does not feel quite so as tall as some of these are. Oh, those were all signature. Okay. So yeah, I think you just need a few of these kind of big ones. And then once you start filling in, you get a pretty good, let's actually get some more rows here. You get a pretty good feeling of that height that we were talking about just with, you know, a few of these kind of taller ones to, a few of these taller ones to kind of set that skyline standard, and then you can build that stuff in. So we'll get some crossroads in here. And get a bit of a under the highway road. And we'll meet that. Something like this. We bring these out a bit. And I guess we can probably cross these over. That. And maybe we'll get another cross one here. Gonna bring that out. And maybe we'll let's kind of mix up our grid a bit with something a little, actually going to go with the complex. So I just want to kind of bring this out and just mix that up a little. I think is a nice bit of variation. And let's make this intersection even more complicated. And that's starting to get there a bit. Bring this in here. And let's bring that one out a bit. And kind of bring these over. So I think this is going to be, I think when the trains are running here, this is going to start feeling really cool with the way that this really just is going to cut through this, and we'll have everything running right up to and around it. I think that's going to be a sweet look. So I'm going to go through and drop a few more roads and get a few more of these things going so that we can, and as well as you know, get some more buildings dropped in here, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, so that's a decent start here for this kind of what I had in mind here. I just wanted to keep a similar flow for, like I said, the height of the buildings. I've been having some major death wave stuff going on, and even with adding another cemetery and another crematorium, I'm assuming it's because I built this all up so fast and had everyone move in at once. We're getting kind of that death wave effect because everyone kind of showed up at the same time instead of gradually. So hopefully that'll even itself out over time. But yeah, definitely been a icon heavy last few minutes. So a couple little things I wanted to do just in real time here. One of which was, I thought it could be cool to have a little underpass here. So I wanted to use the slope tool. Well, let's use the terrain shift tool and kind of go down, not quite that much. Something like that, again, is even probably a little much, like that maybe. And then slope it down from there and from there, and then we can get a bit of a something like that going is pretty much what I had in mind. So just a little underpass there, and we can just smooth a bit of this out, and it's probably even a bit lower than we really need it to be. So I'm going to grab this node and just bring these up a little bit. In fact, I'm actually going to scoot this node over, and then these two can be at the same height, which again can be probably a bit higher. I try to go based on the height of the street light here, so actually you can go down a little bit. And then let's just scoot this over a little. That should be okay. Yeah, so we're just going to connect that there. And then the other thing I wanted to do, I did connect this up here, which I'm a fan of. Let's just adjust these a little, kind of smooth this out a bit, get more of a diamond shaped thing going on. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then I threw a stoplight in there, but I could just get rid of this. I had this bit coming out originally, and we could just get rid of that and let people exit here. But I also, what I wanted to try basically is I put this theater here, but I'm gonna scooch this over just for the moment and see if there's a good way to bring this down. So let's take a look at highway, and I think let's just actually redraw this. So we got snapping on. We'll make this a bridge section and make sure we are keeping our elevation. So -4, -8.3 is good. And yeah, right about there. And then actually let's draw that a little bit farther, because I think we're going to actually want to cross this street and bring it about there. There we go. And then from here, we could probably grab some individual, and I was basically thinking to do, actually let's just take them both and maybe bring two like in there. And yeah, I think that'll work nicely. That is pretty elevated, so I think actually let's grab all of this. Grab this one, that one, and this node, and let's match it to, even that is probably a little high. So there, that feels a little better. And then we can grab this one, bring that down. Let's actually just bring those all down, should. And we can kind of lower this. Oop. I still have those other ones selected. Let's grab that one and smooth that out a bit. That should do it. Oh. Make sure, let's stick that one on the ground still. There we go. That actually accidental, but that actually probably might give us a smoother. Let's see. There's still a little bit of a hump here, so let's all right, so we got that sorted out, and I think that is going to work pretty well. This got a little more kind of crazy here than I think I planned. Just looking down at it like this, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, but I think that's okay. This whole city is fairly gritty and uniformy, and so we definitely got a bit of a weird section in here. So we've got that going for us, and then we'll just have to fill a bit of this in with more stuff. So it looks like this isn't, maybe we move this guy over here. Let's see, where's the entrance? There we go. So that will fit there. Okay. And then I did tuck in the taxi depot as well. And then I did tuck in the taxi depot as well. So we've got that going. And then let's just get some basic other services down in this area. We do have our hospital, so we won't need that. We will need some fire. And maybe we go with, is that gonna, oh, that's gonna fit just perfect. We can go with this old school fire station here that I think will look awesome with in this kind of industrial area. And then police, let's see, go with something that's got a little more height to it. Maybe can kind of tuck that in there perhaps. Let's see what's going on underneath that highway. That'll fit, I think. Or we could just go with this whole, actually let's do this police headquarters deal from the, I think the Urban Promenade pack. And let's see, I'm not sure why. There we go. So does that have any upgrades? It does. What do we have? So more underground space for vehicles. So that just adds, oh, that's super weird. I wonder why what the conflicts with that are. Oh boy. Okay, that got weird. Let's just get rid of that actually. Add-ons, garage extension, delete. That got a little funky, so we're just gonna keep this as it is. And then what was the other upgrade? Was placing the rooftop police helicopter. That feels a little tacked on, so I think we're just gonna leave this as it is, but we are going to get rid of this red. I wonder if we make that more of a blue. Is that feeling a little more, it's a little purple. Let's kind of go with kind of a more police modern blue. Yeah, I think that'll work. So that's pretty sweet. And I think, as always, this game is going to be super short on elementary schools. So we will be, looks like our downtown university still has a massive capacity. We have no college going on, but I do want to kind of build that out outside of the city. But I think we need, is that elementary school? I think we need, yeah. So we're gonna go with this urban elementary school, kind of close to the police station. I think is good. Actually, we're gonna go over here. I know that it might be kind of a weird place for an elementary school, but I think it's a very weird place for an elementary school, but that doesn't really look like a school. So I think we're just gonna kind of take the benefit of its education and just kind of let it help us fill in some spots with some kind of downtown looking stuff. And then let's take a look at also this community elementary school. Maybe that is something we can sneak in right over here. This also doesn't really look like an elementary school, so I think in the same way we can kind of get away with getting some of the educational benefits while also just kind of letting that be something else. So what do we have our upgrades here? Community playground, that's, oh, you could stick that in over there actually. Oh, I forgot, you can't, I don't think move it, can't grasp. We might have to readjust that a little bit. And then the other one was an extension wing. Sure, we can add that. I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh, relocate. Yeah, so I just want to free for all this a little bit just to make it get it fitting right about there. There we go. So, okay, I think that that'll work. And we have our hospital, we have fire, we have police. Let's just district. So I think we can get police going to at least those 3 districts, and fire will also go to these 3, and medical, yeah, we can add those to there as well. Okay, so that that fills that up. So let's see if there's any more. Let's see. I think this stuff is going to be, yeah, kind of weird industrial stuff to go there. Oh, this hotel might be kind of cool. Out here, this is a hotel. This one right here, and I kind of merged it with this high density building to kind of make it look like one. But this was definitely not even what I was trying to do. But actually, you know, I think because this is the Southwest and that is such a Art Deco Southern California looking building, that would look pretty sweet right here, though. I kind of want to save this for our other kind of Southern California looking thing down there, but that does look very cool. Well, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for now. And let's just see if there is, looks like, I think maybe we used quite a bit of this stuff. That's a little big. That's too big. It's just kind of a weird building. Those are the mansions. We can get this in somewhere, I think, probably. Something like, let's see if we can sneak this into this little area, or actually maybe we get it kind of more like there. And then for this, like I was saying, I want to fill in, let's get some more. So we do need some more commercial. I'm sorry, some more industrial. So let's get some of that stuff in here. And I think that'll be good kind of along. We'll kind of mix commercial and industrial in this whole area here, and then fill in some detail around, and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, so that's a pretty good start for some of the filling in and detailing. I think this little area is going to be real sweet once we have the trains coming through and just kind of passing between all these warehouses and stuff is going to be great. Really like lining all the highways with the trees and stuff. I mean, obviously, everyone knows in this game that the trees are a little bit of a cheat code for hiding stuff, and I definitely did that here, but I also just think it continues kind of this highway line trend we have going on downtown, so I'm really liking that. And then just in terms of kind of filling in all this stuff, I think just the more, you know, we fill in with cement and parking, the better it looks. And my goal has always been to just try to eliminate all of the green unless we're specifically laying, you know, little park areas or little lawn areas, or, you know, so we'll get all that out of here. But I think we'll leave it there for now. I'm gonna go through and fill in some stuff off camera that is just gonna take quite a while. So we'll preview some of that when we return next time. But overall, yeah, I think this is a bit of the kind of mixed stuff I was looking for. I wanted to, like I said, extend some of this over here, and I think, you know, when you look at it from kind of over here, you know, it does that a bit. We're not just having this downtown cutoff. Let's see if we look at it from over here too, you know, kind of the same thing. We just have an extended skyline a bit. So yeah, that was about what I had in mind. And then I think you know, from over here too, our radio tower is kind of hard to see with the way that the graphics are in the distance here, but I think that's working. So yeah, I will fill this stuff in, and the more I look at this area, the more I think we may need to clean this up a little bit, which might just be straightening this out. In fact, you know what, let's just go ahead and do that now. I just think that was feeling a little much. And let's see if we just run this right into here, get our exact 90 without snapping here. I think already that feels a bit better. Yeah, we already had enough weird stuff going on here, so I think that will work out a bit better. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.